So listen, let's go ahead and get into this because I woke up this morning and before I could even get out the bed, Queet, what up? Charles Daniel, what's happening? When I woke up this morning before I could even like turn the lights on, my wife said, "Yo, did you see what happened with Darrel Walls?" I was like, "Nah." And she showed me the video that is leaking all over the interwebs right now, which is just, Darrel Walls, who apparently is in a relationship with another man. Unfortunately, he shared some details about that relationship with people in his inner circle, people that he thought he could trust, and somebody in that group leaked it for the whole entire world. The whole world, y'all. Just put it all over the internet. And of course, hey, by the way, share this video. And if you have questions, drop them. I would love to hear your thoughts. I would love to hear your questions because we're going to go into this. So somebody shared this video, and of course the church is going to be up in arms because here's a man in a romantic relationship with another man. But the real problem is that there was somebody in his inner circle that he thought he could trust with his truth, who knew that he needed them to use discretion, and they still took his private information and put it all over the internet. There are so many messages in that right there, but you really got to be careful about who you share your secrets with. And I mean, I truly understand, like, if Darrel Walls is a same gender loving individual, he didn't feel safe sharing that with the world. But when you have love for somebody, when you're in a relationship with somebody, you want to share that with somebody. Like, he couldn't share it with the world, but he thought he could share it with the people closest to him, and look at what happened to him. But that's like the thing that I believe that we should all be concerned about, really, is the fact that somebody in his inner circle put him on blast like that. But let's talk about the other issue here, because I called this another church casualty. And this is apart from the Judas in his circle, whoever that is, who put him on blast. But I want to talk about why Darrel felt the need to hide his truth from the rest of us. That's the part of this that to me represents the church casualty piece. That's the part that represents the church casualty piece. Because I've seen people say, if you gay, just be gay. Like, just tell people. Let me give y'all an example of what happens when you tell people that you gay, particularly in the black church. It really, really was not that long ago that there was a young man by the name of Tone. We now call him B. Slade, for those of us who know who Tone is or know who B. Slade is. And Tone sat on the couch with Lexi, I don't know, probably like 11, 12 years ago, and he shared his truth. Now, Tone was one of the top gospel artists in the country. He has some of the sickest vocals you've ever heard. He does stuff with his voice I've never even imagined or seen. Tone sat down with Lexi on the Lexi show and shared his truth. And Lexi said something very particular. She was like, "So do you struggle with homosexuality?" He said, "No, I don't struggle. It's not a struggle. This is who I am. And I am going to embrace my truth." And if you watch that interview, he was very secure in his truth and who he was. And he mentioned in that interview that he had been through all the deliverance services, all the tarrying services, had oil slung all over him, people trying to call that perversion of homosexuality out of him. He went through all of those steps that the church tells you need to go through to get delivered. And he just came to the conclusion that, this is who I am. So I'm going to be who I am. And he acknowledged in the video, like, I'm attracted to women and I'm attracted to men. I believe in being committed. I believe in being in a covenant relationship. I don't believe in being promiscuous. And he was basically saying my sexual attractions do not necessarily mean I'm going to be a sexually promiscuous person. So he was just spilling his truth. And we crucified him for it. We shattered that man's career because he decided, I'm going to be truthful with y'all and tell you who I am. I'm going to take the risk that you'll accept my truth. People, this was not 40 years ago. This was like 2008. And we murdered this man's career. At the time he did the interview, you know one of the things he said? He said he was a period prior to that, shortly before that, where like he was going through some real tough stuff. And he was scheduled to perform at a concert. And he decided he couldn't make it. You know who filled in for him? His fill-in was Ty Tribbett. That's how serious Tone was. His fill-in when he couldn't make it was Ty Tribbett. When was the last time we heard a song from Tone in church? It's not because he fell off. It's not because he lost his creativity. Go check out some videos of B. Slade. Recent videos this year of B. Slade. Dude is phenomenal. His career fell off because of how the church handled him when he told his truth. So you can't turn around and just say, well, why didn't Darrel Walls just tell us? Why would he tell us? What reason has the church given him to be truthful about who he is? We haven't given him a reason to be honest. And there are so many layers to this story. So many layers to this story. First of all, the church is going to crucify him. Second of all, we don't know what his family knew. I pray to God that his family knew. But man, if his family didn't know and they found out like that, do you know how many issues that causes? There are so many psychological issues. So many psychological issues that people have to deal with when they get outed in this way. The reason I engage in my ministry at the faith community the way that I do is because I understand that there aren't many places where people in the Q plus community can completely be themselves. In many churches led by black heterosexual men or women, what we do with Q plus people is either number one, we let them come in our church as long as they don't acknowledge their sexuality. The minute you say that you're gay, then you can't be a part of anything. You can't lead the choir. Like, you can be gay and lead the choir. Just don't tell us that you're gay. Just let it be a secret. So a lot of churches have a don't ask, don't tell policy. And then you have churches now in this new wave of progressive ministry that looks really loving and welcoming and accepting because they say, bring your sexuality, bring your sexual orientation. We love you anyway. Come and be a part of us because we truly love you. But there are conditions on that love. Because the condition is we're going to invite you in and we acknowledge that you have same gender attraction. But when you get here, we're going to try to pray the gay out of you. We're going to secretly hope that we can deliver you from your natural affections. So there really aren't many places where Q plus people can go and say, hey, this is me. This is who I am. I believe that God made me this way. I'm not trying to get delivered. That's where a lot of church folk today get hung up. Yeah, be gay, be gay. But secretly you saying, and be delivered. You cannot, as far as I know, be delivered from your natural affections and attractions. If you are naturally attracted to someone, that is who you are. It is a part of who you are. People hate when I do this, but I don't care. It's the same thing as you can't change the fact that you black. I don't care if you don't like that. I'm going to keep saying it till you get it. I can't change my sexual orientation any more than I can change the fact that I'm a black man. Now, thankfully for me, nobody's asking me to change my sexual orientation. But we got a whole lot of black people sitting in black churches that are out here trying to get people to denounce their humanity. So what you have is somebody like Darrel Walls who can't be open about his humanity because he knows how the church will respond. And he's seen how the church has responded to other people who are honest about themselves. And then he hides. And then at times he does little stuff in the public just to try to leave clues that he is attracted to women when he might be. But sometimes people do that as a cover up because they want to keep you off the scent. But he shouldn't have to do that. This man should not have to do that. And the church put him in a position to do that. He saw enough from the church to know that he couldn't be honest with us. He saw enough from the people that preached to him and laid hands on him and prophesied to him that he couldn't be honest about that part of himself. And we love his gift. Oh, we'll soak up his gift. Darrel Walls is one of the most prolific voices in gospel music right now. We will soak up the hell out of his gift as long as he doesn't tell us a truth that makes us uncomfortable. We need to keep that in mind because this is fresh. It just happened. So this is what I need you to do. If you see somebody bashing him about his sexual orientation, say something. Don't just watch it. Say something. Don't allow people to just tear this man down. Now, there's a whole lot of stuff he did wrong. A whole lot of stuff he did wrong. But we put him in a position to do a lot of that stuff. You know what he didn't do wrong? Love the person that he loves. And that's where church folk gonna get hung up because we want to start with he shouldn't be gay. Now, I don't have any problem with him being gay. That's how God made him. Or I shouldn't say gay. Having attraction to men, because just because you have attraction to men doesn't mean that you're gay. It's not a black and white. You can be attracted to all types of people. But just because he has attraction to men, it doesn't mean he was doing something wrong. And you know what? We need to, as quickly as we possibly can, restore that brother and not restore him on some, are you going to be delivered? Are you going to denounce homosexuality? No. The restoration should be, are you going to be free and being yourself? We want you as you are, not who you present to be. We just want you as you are. Can the church do that with Darrel Walls? Or are we going to continue to perpetuate the shame that has directed the majority of his actions as it pertains to his relationships? That's what it is. It's the shame. You could tell from the video, he was comfortable with that dude, right? It was not like, they just met up. It seemed like they were in a relationship just based on the comfort level, which says to me that he was comfortable in himself with who he is in certain spaces, but in other spaces, he couldn't be comfortable. So when we restore him, it's not about restoring him back to God, because God made him the way that he is. How are we going to restore him back to us? Just as he is. Because that's what causes a lot of the psychological damage to so many people in our churches who are a part of the Q+ community. It's the community that banishes them. It's the community that mistreats them. It's the church that degrades them and diminishes them and says, you got to get delivered. But how can you get delivered from yourself? How can you get delivered from a natural part of you that doesn't change? How can we restore this man as he is the question. Just as he is. Not trying to get him saved. The man is already saved. So my prayer is that somehow he'll be able to work through all of the layers of this situation and at some point return back to ministry and sing like his life depends on it, like he always has. And maybe in being truthful and honest with himself, even in the public, he'll be even more open to hearing what God has to say to him. Because now even God can get to those parts of him that he tried to hide from everybody, except for that inner circle, one of whom outed him for the whole world. So, if y'all got any questions, Did I miss anything? Was there something I was supposed to say? No? Okay. I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. Listen, y'all. Let's pray for that brother. Let's not dog him out. Let's not sit by and just watch people treat him bad. Somebody said, what's my Cash App? Listen, I'm not going to turn down a gift. If you want to give me a gift, it's The Christian Smith on Cash App. Can somebody type that in the comments, please? Can somebody type in the comments that is The Christian Smith on the cash tag?
Yes.
In Jesus' name. I'm not going to turn it down. But I felt like it was important for me to say this. I call myself an ally of the Q Plus community. And it's in times like this where if you call yourself an ally, you need to show up. Because I know there are going to be a lot of straight clergy people who get on and start talking bad about this man. And are going to be focused on his sexuality and not the betrayal within his circle. So if anybody needs a different perspective, here's your different perspective. Let's embrace that man as he is. If you want to learn more about how I put all this stuff together, why I think the way that I do, it's all in my book. I ain't telling you no lie. It's all in my book. I wrote a whole book on it because that's how serious it is to me. It's in my book. Read the book and you'll understand the way that I process and the way that I think. I put it all on paper. I started my whole church based on this concept. So go check it out. Let's be kind to those who are struggling with secrets that they love to tell, but don't trust us enough to tell them. Love y'all.